All right, good morning and welcome back to the Volkswagen channel. Today we're going to be doing an oil change on a Porsche Macan. This is a 2021 GTS. That means it's got the 2.9 twin turbo motor. Most other DIYs show how to do this from underneath the vehicle. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do it with an oil extractor, which means we don't even need to get this car off the ground. It's going to be super easy. These vehicles don't have a dipstick tube. What they have instead is what they call a guide tube. So it's not set up to check the oil level, but we can use that to put our oil extractor tube down into the sump in order to pull all the oil out. So basically this is the easiest guide possible. I don't think this video is going to be longer than 10 minutes. I'm going to show you exactly what to do. There's really not many tools involved. You're going to need your socket wrench, a short extender, and a 1 1/4 inch socket. This is for the filter housing, which on this motor is located on the top, and that's what allows us to do this change all from the top without lifting the vehicle up. You're gonna need a pair of pliers. This is to remove the guide tube plug. Lots of paper towels. Things are gonna get messy. Here's our oil extractor. Any good one is probably gonna work for you. This is a Pella. This is the 6-quart size, I believe, maybe 6.5 quarts. And since we have up to 7.9, or I should say, yes, it's up to 7.9 quarts to take out, we'll probably fill this all the way up, drain it, and then need to fill up just a little bit more. And then here is our oil change kit we got from FCP Euro. Comes with our oil filter. We've got our new drain plug and gasket, but we're theoretically not going to need that. And then we have our 8 quarts of oil. Now that we've let the vehicle idle a little bit and get up to temperature, that's going to allow the oil to come out of the oil extractor a little bit easier. We can take the engine cover off. You just want to gently pull straight up in 4 corners. So right there is our oil filter housing. You can see right on the top it says 25 Newton meters. That's basically hand tight. When we put it back on, we're going to be very careful with that, not to strip the plastic out. And then that is our guide tube. I was really happy to research and find that it's actually very easily accessible. When I used some AI tools, it was saying that it'd be on the back of the motor. So this one is actually on the front. Super nice to see that. And that's where our oil extractor tube is going to go into. And then here, of course, is where we fill up our oil. So in order to have the best access to everything here, we're just going to slightly move a couple hoses. This just has a plastic clip here. We just pull up on it and it should come undone. And then this tube right here can just kind of bend up out of the way to get better access right there. So our guide tube plug has kind of a flat, horizontal orientation to it. So you can grab it with your pliers and you basically just twist and pull up. Kind of gently work it out. You don't want to pull too hard. It just kind of slowly twists out and you don't want to damage the gasket. That's what it looks like there. Now before we do anything else, we're going to verify the fitment of our oil extractor to make sure that this exact size is going to work for us. That's going to be a perfect fit. All right. And that is all the way down into the sump, no problem. I'm just going to test the pump a little bit, make sure that we're able to extract oil. And if we are, then I will move on to the oil filter housing. All right. As you can see, oil's starting to come up the tube. That verifies that we are down into the sump. And now we'll just remove the oil filter housing. That will allow a little bit of air to go down in there while we're doing our change, and it just makes the whole process of extracting a little bit faster. So right before we take our filter cap off, you want to make sure you have some paper towel stuff down in there. Don't be stingy, just try and get them all the way around the seal. That way it's going to help catch any oil that falls down. Thankfully, I think Porsche did a good job with these. It's a very shallow cap. That means most of the filter is inset and most of the oil is going to be down in the filter housing, not on the cap. And then have your plastic bag ready for the mess. As you're cracking it open, you're going to start to hear air bubbles. When that happens, just give it a second, and that's going to allow some of the oil to release down into the vehicle, and you're going to have less of a mess if you just give it a second. It is pretty cool on this motor how the turbos are just right here. The filter housing is just nestled right in the middle. We're just going to pull it straight up and let the drips go straight down for a second. All right, so we did a pretty good job getting that off without making a mess. And now in order to avoid a vacuum, we're going to leave this open while we extract the rest of the oil. Here's to give you an idea of how fast the oil extractor can work. This is just regular speed. So you can see that it's able to do, I think one of these rungs is a quart. It's able to do a quart maybe every 30 seconds to a minute. We're almost up to 5 quarts out of the motor. If you're finding that as you're pumping your extractor, not much is coming out, just pull the tube just a little bit out. The oil extractor line, just pull it out maybe like a 1/4 inch. That way, if the tip of it is stuck against the side of the sump, it's able to provide a little bit of gap for the oil to come out. Okay, so our extractor is full with 6 quarts. I actually stopped the extraction right at 6. We're going to empty into our waste container so that we can continue for the last 2 quarts. One more part for your part list. You'll need a funnel, not just for filling, but also for potentially emptying. All right, so once you get to the end, just have a listen. You'll be able to tell because the line will start shaking. It's shaking and making a bubbling noise, and that lets you know that you've got to air and you got all the oil out. So we're just going to move this around a little bit, bring it down just a little bit more, see if we can suck up the very last bit. But from the looks of it, we were able to get all 7.9 out. Look at our second batch, I'm trying to get that on camera, but you can see that it's probably at 7.8 or 7, maybe 7.7, 7.6 quarts. So that means there's only 0.2 to 0.3 quarts left in the car, which is actually a really good extraction percentage. Okay, now we're ready to put the new oil filter on, and in these boxes, they come with a new O-ring. So you're gonna wanna put this around your filter cap, and when you do that, just put a little bit of oil on it so that prevents it from seizing when you put the cap back on. The filter itself is omnidirectional. You can see on both sides it has the exact same pattern and seal. So what that means is you can just pop it down in there either way. There's no top or bottom on this specific one. That just pops down in there. You can give it kind of a gentle twist as you put it in there. So to get this seal off easy, you can use a flathead. I just happen to have a pick, which makes grabbing it just a little bit easier. Here's our new one. I'm just gonna grease it a little bit first. When you got the new one on there, make certain that it's in the proper groove there and not on the bottom rung of the threads. I really need to make sure that the towels are out of the way so that they don't get stuck in there. I'm just gonna push them down and out of the way for now because I don't want to pull them up and potentially drag any dirt into the filter housing. All right, so we've tightened this by hand as much as we can, but I see that there's still a little bit of a gap, so we're gonna put this on, but we're gonna be super gentle with this. I'm going to be watching the gap between the cap and the filter housing to make sure that I stop right when it meets. You want to stop just at the first sign of resistance there. Don't forget to remove your paper towels. You don't want to start an engine fire. Pro tip, before we take our cap off for filling up with oil, we're going to vacuum around here. You can see there's some dirt, and we don't want that sand to get into the motor. Okay, it's time to fill up. So we're going to do 7.5 quarts and then measure using the car's computer. Since we know that's about how much came out, we're going to put just a little bit less than that back in, measure, and then top off from there. Because this is clean oil. One more pro tip, and if you're new to doing this type of thing, it can be easy to miss, but pay attention to the minute of measure on your bottle, because sometimes it'll be in quarts and sometimes it'll be in liters. And this vehicle is 7.9 quarts to capacity or 7.5 liters. Okay, so since these are liter bottles, what we've done is I've just put in 7.2 liters because the full capacity is 7.5. So we're gonna run it at 7.2, do the proper procedure in the vehicle to measure the level, and then potentially add oil from there. Before you start the vehicle up, don't forget to put the guide tube plug back in. Okay, with everything buttoned up and the hood closed, when you turn your vehicle on, you can scroll on your steering wheel to the vehicle tab. You click, and then you go to oil measurement, and then it'll tell you if the oil's at the right level. So we can see that we've filled it up just about perfect. It says oil level is correct. So we were able to accurately account for how much oil didn't come out of the vehicle. We got almost all of it out. There was just a few hundred milliliters that did not. Just be sure you account for that when you go up to fill the oil. You don't want to overfill it. And then when you do this measurement here, the vehicle needs to be up to temperature. So that means letting it idle for like 10 minutes or doing like a 5-minute drive. So with the right tools, that's about as easy as it gets. I hope this video was able to save you a lot of time and money. If you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe.